All right, man. We're live. We're good.
We're live. New pod is live. All right. Well, with the ceremonial gong, we'll kick it off. And do you have a name for the?
For the space.
Or just the garage.
Just like OUTRUN HQ.
Oh. All right. Ceremonial gong for the first recording. And God, I don't even remember the last time I was here.
It was way different.
It was way different.
Is that what you do? Everyone, you start with the can pop. Cheers.
It's become tradition now.
Okay, let me just make sure levels are good.
How am I sounding? Am I coming clear?
Yeah, we need. Do you do headphones?
I do, but
just like earbuds, or you put like over the head or over the ear?
I have over the ear ones.
Yeah.
Just because I have the like the stereotypical audio sound guy, like the Sony.
Is that what everybody uses?
The Sony MD something. They're like the mainstream audio guy ones. So I have a pair of those, and I like they sound really good, so I use those. But
did we do them on our original podcast? I feel like we had earbuds in, maybe. Oh no, we did. We didn't do them with headphones.
No, I don't think we did.
I hear that it's like different. That like you feel like you're more engaged.
I like the headphones more just because. Well, I guess for something like this is I wouldn't need it because there's literally nobody here. But like normally recording at my apartment. Nate's in the other room taking a class, or there's people walking out, taking out their garbage. So I like them just so I can zone in.
Yeah.
And it feels different. It doesn't sound like this. It sounds, I don't know, more like how you would listen to it.
I think everybody says when you have more than one guest on, if it's like multiples, the headphones are good because you're like, all right, somebody's talking.
Oh yeah. It's, I don't know. I guess it's not that important for it. But
did you do your homework? Did you watch Last of Us?
I didn't, but I talked about it.
Sorry, the screen's distracting me. All right, so you didn't watch it?
No.
So not episode 1, nothing. Okay.
No. But that'll be my homework today.
Yeah, you're like episode 8. Yeah, you got a few hours to catch up on.
Which I honestly prefer it that way because I like to. I mean, I feel like you're
just gonna binge it.
Yeah, I came up in the new the Netflix model,
okay,
where they drop the whole season and you.
Tell me about how you feel about it, and then I'll explain to you why I don't like the model. But go ahead.
About the Netflix model?
No, about the binge everything.
Oh no, I don't think it's good, but that's where that's what I'm more used to, especially what was something I watched recently. I mean, Stranger Things. I remember Stranger Things when it came out. And it was, they dropped the whole first season. Okay, so I guess Stranger Things would be a bad example. But Modern Family. So I remember watching.
Is it the cartoon thing or is it the live action?
No, that's the live action sitcom.
I'm thinking Family Guy. Modern Family, okay?
Which I've been watching bits of Family Guy, and it's okay. But I'm realizing that not a lot of people are funny, that they just say Family Guy stuff. Because I'll hear stuff that I heard people say.
Yeah, it's quotable.
Yeah, I'm like.
Yeah, I never got on a Family Guy. I was a South Park guy, and that was it.
I like South Park too. I started watching. Okay, but so Modern Family. I remember when it came out, and it came out every Wednesday night.
Okay.
And so I remember sitting down watching it at 7:00 it came out, and waiting for the entire week. And I was like, oh, okay, it's an event when it comes out, whereas opposed to when Stranger Things dropped, the whole show dropped, and initially, when I watched Stranger Things, I watched it and I was like, it was cool. And then I just forgot about it.
Right.
Whereas all these years later, I enjoy Modern Family way more because I remember it being a bigger event.
Well, Modern Family, was there a plot that went throughout the season, or was it digestible? They all self-contained episodes?
They were all self-contained episodes.
So to that, you don't really need So the thing with Stranger Things, if it was a weekly series back in the day, you would watch it on Thursday, talk about it with your friends over the weekend, and now I like watching the YouTube breakdowns, Easter eggs and all that shit. I like doing that between episodes. And if you just go back to back to back to back, you in your head you're like, oh, I kind of know what happened last episode. Let's watch this one.
Yeah.
Where with the weekly drops, freaking dive into
Game of Thrones. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Absolutely. I watched it late, so I watched it when all the seasons were dumped.
Same. I finished Game of Thrones maybe around Christmas. So 2-3 months ago.
The original Game of Thrones, not House of Dragon.
I mean, I watched House of Dragon first, and then I went through and watched Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. That's actually a cool way to do it.
But it was...
House of Dragons gives you like a little bit of background, and then watching that, you're like, oh, that's what we were talking about. That's actually an interesting way to watch it.
Well, so that was the reason
Because you know House of Dragon is a prequel.
It's a prequel. That's why I watched it, because I've been wanting to watch Game of Thrones for the longest time, but it always scared me because people were like, you really, really got to pay attention.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely not like a background watch.
Exactly. And I'm like, I got a lot of projects. I can't sit down. And they're not short episodes.
No,
they're like
an
an
hour.
hour.
Like movies.
They're minimum hour. So I'm like, I don't have the time to like sit down and really focus on this for an hour.
Right.
But I did. Because House of the Dragon dropped. And I was like, oh, whatever. It's 8 episodes. I was like, that's manageable. I can do that.
Yeah.
Loved it so much that I was like, okay, I have to watch Game of Thrones. And watching Game of Thrones in the Netflix model, I feel like I enjoyed it more because my personality, I want to consume all of it.
Right.
But I feel like it took it away because I feel like I would have enjoyed it more.
If it was weekly?
Where if it was weekly and I'm like, oh, okay, I really got to... like, that's part of the problem I have. This is literally a whole nother thing. This is like a part of the problem I have like with all the Marvel movies. Because I'm like, stuff is laid out so far ahead that there's like, it almost takes the stakes away for some of the stuff. Where I was like, Game of Thrones, it finished and I knew people were still talking about, what is her name? Daenerys.
Yeah.
Like I knew people were still talking about Daenerys as the show was over. So throughout the seasons when stuff was happening to her, I'm like, oh, she's going to be fine. She makes it to the end.
Oh, right.
So it like almost took the stakes away. Whereas,
a little spoiler, yeah.
Whereas if you're watching it week to week, you're like,
yeah.
Oh shit, did something happen? Like how they do at the end of every season for Stranger Things, where it's just like a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't. So I agree with you. I don't think the Netflix model is great. But
and then watching Game of Thrones now, that everybody shit on. I forget the final season was like 6 or 5 or 4. What did it end up being? How many seasons was in the original?
6 or 7.
Might have been 6. Yeah. But everybody was like, "Oh, that last season was terrible, horrible writing." So like the entire time you're watching, you're like, "All right, when does it fall off?"
Exactly. Yeah, and I was. It almost like it tempered my expectations coming in, and it. First off, I thought those last 2 seasons weren't that bad.
No, not at all.
Like the one where it was dark.
I had no problem with them.
I thought it was fine. I watched it at night.
Yeah.
Like people were complaining.
Yeah.
That show, when it came out, it dropped at like 8, 9 o'clock. It didn't drop midday. It wasn't that hard to watch on TV.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like,
you know how
like physically watching a dark scene in a dark room.
One of the.
I think the argument was you couldn't see the fighting.
That's what people were saying. They're like, "Oh, it's so dark. The shadows are bumped all the way up." It wasn't that fucking bad. Like it wasn't great.
The battle was rushed. I think the last few episodes were rushed, which is what I see The Last of Us doing. Which I won't spoil it. You played the game though, so they wanted to dilute the entire first game into 1 season. I think that game could have been fucking 3 seasons.
Oh, but easily. How many episodes?
So
per
we're like,
season?
it's going to be 10 episodes. I think we're at 8 right now.
Oh, see, that's kind of tough then.
So us knowing the end of game 1. And I know where they're at episode 8. I was like, how are they going to do this in 2 episodes? It's literally going to be like sped up. And then part 2.
Part 2, I have been telling people, because people are like, you haven't watched the show, you haven't watched it. I'm like, I played the games. I know what happens. I can't wait for the people who don't know what's happening to watch season 2.
So the end of season 1 is going to be a divider, and then season 2 is going to be...
That's what I think I might even hold out until it's done to see how divided the finale is, because I remember I just recently played it. Did
you play the remake? Because I haven't played the remake.
I haven't played the remake, but I played The Last of Us. Well, The Last of Us 2 came out in 2020.
Yes.
And that's when I played it. And I played The Last of Us 1 maybe a year before.
Was it 2020?
Yeah.
God damn, dude. COVID stole so much time from us, dude. I feel like when people tell me 2020 and it's 3 years ago, that's wild.
But
Cybertruck, I just saw this the other day. Cybertruck was announced 2019. And he was talking about production early 2021.
And wasn't there just a test model that came out like last week or something?
Yeah, they keep updating the prototype, but now he's like, 2024 production date. And it's like, nobody would have foreseen the supply issues, the inflation. That's what he's arguing is like the reason. But anyways, what are we talking about? Last of Us? Yeah, so part 2, they're saying it's going to be multi-season. It's not going to be contested with a season.
Well, I mean, that makes...
It's so much.
We literally can't even talk about it because season 2 is going to be crazy. Yeah. Because the second game, and I told, like, me, Renee wants to watch The Last of Us with me, and I remember playing 2 when we moved to our first apartment, and I was like...
Does she, like, spectate you playing? And play, like, through you, or is she a gamer? Does she play?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't play, but it was, like, whenever I play... I just, like, tell her about it.
Yeah.
So, like, when I'm playing 2, I was like, nah, this game is crazy. Like, I remember telling her about it, and then when she's like, oh, this Last of Us show is coming out, I was like, yeah, it's the game I was telling you about. And she's like, the crazy, oh my God. I, like, can't even talk about it. I'm so excited for The Last of Us.
So what's cool now, this is, like, a really good adaptation, which is going to lead the way for... So God of War has gotten signed to be a show.
Oh, really?
So God of War is going to be like Game of Thrones level quality in God of War, which is going to be awesome.
Whoa.
And then Horizon...
Did you play Ragnarok?
It's in my PS5 right now. Like, not in it, but like I'm playing it.
I haven't played any of Ragnarok, but I loved God of War 2019.
So it's both of them. Game of the year, game of the console generation, the original, and this one.
Yeah.
But it's too RPG for me. It's like... I like Horizon. Horizon's level of RPG is like casual enough for me to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, like...
I think because it's so... I mean, that's the whole on-rails story-driven God of War now versus like... Horizon's open world Harvest Fest.
Yeah. Horizon is more of like...
Do you like Horizon for the game, or do you like it for the story?
I love everything. So Horizon's got everything. It's got dinosaurs, right? It's got the
robots. That's how my buddy
dinosaurs.
Tony sold it to me. He's like, dude, because I'd never heard of it. He goes, Horizon, robot, dinosaurs. I was like, all right,
dude. Like,
that's all I need. That's all I need.
My thing, right? It's like I like mechs. I like tech. I like this. I like that. Dude, dinosaurs, robots, and spaceships. It's literally got all 3 of them. Okay, so they made the game. And Aloy is not even like a super like sexy Tomb Raider type character. She's just like a cool badass chick. Like,
yeah,
it's not like I'm playing it because back in the day, like Tomb Raider days, like tits and ass. That's not.
Oh yeah, that's what this is reminding me of. This background.
Oh, actually, that's funny.
Is reminding me of Lara Croft's pixelated boobies.
No. So this is actually kind of it kind of reminds me of Horizon a little bit because when you go into the what do they call those little those caves where like they're like tech.
My gosh, the caverns.
Caverns, another name.
No,
I think it's caverns.
It's not.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I think it is caverns.
So the tessellation. This is like the tessellation that's in all those little caves. So
dude,
I just realized that this is like a Horizon aesthetic.
That is. Now you just got to get the blue that like that.
Oh, the glow.
The techie blue. Dude, that would be cool for like the how the TikTok kids have that. Like,
hate they all do it wrong, right? You're not supposed to have the LEDs facing out. They're supposed to be diffused by something. And all the stupid TikTok kids border their rooms with the LED strips. Dude, and they've got these little hot spots everywhere. It drives me fucking crazy. Because it's supposed to be a backlight. It's supposed to be like
the LEDs.
Just kind of an accent light. And instead they like point them forward. Anyways, that's another thing. Fuck TikTok. It's just funny. I just realized dinosaurs, robots, tech.
That's so funny because I didn't even think to ask you because that makes so much sense that you love Horizon.
Oh, absolutely.
I had a weird time. Did you hear about it from the jump and you jumped in and
yeah. So early in my gaming days. Magazines, all the PlayStation magazines that I could like afford to get.
Yeah,
I read up on everything, and now it's like YouTube. So, when did Horizon get announced? Like 2016, 17.
See, I don't even remember hearing about it.
You played the original.
I played the original. Like, I don't even know. Maybe way later. I played it after the like Game of the Year edition came out, and it had the DLC included.
Oh, wow.
Like, I bought that game. And it was so, like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But it was kind of hard to get into at first because I felt like the story was a little slow to get started.
It was.
And then so I started it. And actually, I'm doing the same thing with the second game. I feel like the second one is taking a little longer to get started. But so I played the first one, played it. It was interesting. Took a break, came back, played through the entire DLC, and was like, this game is amazing.
I actually didn't play the DLC in the first game. That was like the snow or winter or whatever.
Play it. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, and I played it at like the perfect time in the game where like your level is like perfect for it.
Yeah.
Because you get a bunch of weapon. Oh my gosh.
So so a funny story with that is my PS4 took a shit after I beat the game, and then DLC came out, and I lost my save, and I really didn't want to start over and then play the DLC. And that's kind of where it fell off. That's why I never did it. Yeah.
Did you like the original God of Wars?
I never played them. I remember them being out. I never played them. Yeah, I never really got into that. Like I said, even Ragnarok, like I like it. I'm not as invested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Cyberpunk, I love that game. Horizon, that's kind of where I'm at. But I've definitely got to be into the genre, and like Cyberpunk is me too. Like
that's your aesthetic.
That's everything.
See, I bought it. My problem was that I have a PS4. I bought it,
it plays
when it dropped. I literally loaded the game. It took 45 minutes. I was like, this isn't worth it. I think I made
it took 45 minutes. What to download? This is gonna take time.
To like it was so laggy.
Like boot.
Yeah. So once it downloaded and everything, I like made it through the character creator.
Yeah.
It was so light. I was like, all right.
Dude, I played like shit on my PS5. At launch.
Dude,
there's times I walk up. It's way better now. It's like super good. But I walked up to vehicles and they were like so pixelated and blurry. I was like, what the hell is this? But it was just glitches in the game. But now it like plays super good. They've got the next gen update. It looks fucking awesome. Yeah. Actually, that game like it had like a revitalization. Like all the players or whatever came back to it. Yeah, good game,
dude.
You're making me nervous. Nudge that a little bit. I feel like you're gonna knock him. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. What else, man? So you're in my studio. Where do you want to?
So, and we were talking about this yesterday, and then we already cut it off because we wanted to save it to this. I am so excited that you said that you wanted to take the edit and the thumbnail for this because that's what I'm trying to do. So this is Missing the Homies. Oh wait.
No, this is not Missing the Homies.
This is Missing
the Homies? Okay, Missing the Homies.
Yeah. Wait. Damn, I didn't do the intro. Whatever.
You did the intro.
No, this is Missing the Homies. This is the show where I bullshit with my homies.
Oh, you did.
We have Edmund. I am a guest in Edmund's home today. Mm-hmm. Okay, but so I have the two shows. So I have Missing the Homies and Show and Tell. Mm-hmm. So Show and Tell I only do with Tony, and Missing the Homies is a different guest every month.
Okay.
So when I originally started Missing the Homies, it was supposed to be an editing challenge practice for me and Demi. So that's where
I remember that.
That's where it started as vlogs.
And it was a daily back and forth.
It was daily. And that was I'm going on 3 years. So I started it before the pandemic.
Did you?
Or no, I started it 2020, the year of the pandemic.
Yeah.
January 1st, 2020 is the first Missing the Homies.
And you guys were doing them remote. And I remember Demi didn't want to do it. He was like, that's too much fucking work. I'm not in.
He didn't want to do it. Demi also doesn't like putting his face or voice on camera, which is fine. You know, like some people don't like that.
Sure, I like to be behind the scenes.
But I was like, dude, we should do it to like keep up on our editing skill. Like just do it. So I thought that would have been cool. But then as it progressed, I think Demi made it. Me and Demi made it 3 months. And then he's like, dude, I can't do this. Like, this
is 3 months. That's considerable.
We did it a pretty fair amount. Maybe it was 2 months. I don't know. But whatever it was like a good amount of time. And then we're like, okay, we can't keep doing this because it's too much. It's
not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. So I was like, okay, but I like really liked doing something all the time, with this. So I was like, okay, let me see what else I could do. And then, have you ever heard of the Vlog Brothers?
No.
Okay, so Hank and John Green, who are like, have you ever heard
like a younger, or are they like a Casey Neistat age?
Casey Neistat age.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Crash Course on YouTube? Okay, so it's it's an informational PBS show, but it's like they have topics on everything, and they're amazing. I like that show. Love Crash Course. But so they have done a series where they make videos back and forth to each other on the same channel. And
is that where you got the idea?
So that's where I got the idea. I watched one of their, and I had like heard of them before, but I watched the video. I watched one of their Vlog Brothers videos, and I was like, that's an amazing idea. Like, I love that. That seems fun enough to where I'm doing something like with one of my friends.
Right.
And it's like editing enough practice to where I can like take it however I want.
Okay.
So that's where Demi hopped off and it became Missin the Homies.
Yeah, you're trying to do like a monthly, like month to month.
Yeah. So month to month, that's where everybody would hop in. And then I was having my friends do fucking vlogs.
Yeah.
And that's
on their phones or whatever they had.
That's insane to me that so many people, because I think I got like 5 or 6 of my friends to do it.
Were you doing it at school at one point? I feel like I remember you doing it with like kids in a school. Or is that just somebody in their apartment maybe?
So that was my friend Darielle.
Yeah.
So she was making, and it's like, it's insane to me that my friends agreed to do that because for somebody who doesn't know how to edit or shoot,
right.
that's fucking
a lot of work.
Crazy. That's so much work. So then I was racked with guilt for that for a couple months because I'm like, I'm asking my friends to do so much work and it's supposed to be fun.
Right.
And it's fun, and it was fun for me, but it was like becoming a headache for people. And then if people weren't following through, it was pissing me off. And then I'm like,
yeah,
that's not fair for me to get mad at my friends
for volunteering
to do a huge project.
Yeah.
So that's where I got the idea of the podcast. So I was like, the podcast is easy enough. But so then it took on this whole other life, and I put it on the other channel just to like have it as like more of an easier catalog.
What are your 2 channels right now?
So right now the 2 channels are Tone Time, like Antonio Konja, my name, and Missin the Homies. So Missin the Homies I started on its own channel just so I could keep it away from my stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was like, then I started spending way more time doing this, and I didn't drop any videos on my channel. So that's where Show and Tell came on. So Show and Tell is on my channel right now. But as I'm doing all of this shuffling and stuff, so I'm putting Missin the Homies on my channel now. So that's where
I feel like ours was on your channel.
Yeah. And to me, like thinking about it now, that just makes the most sense.
Okay.
So right now, Missin the Homies is going to be on my channel. New episodes every Monday.
Monday.
And then Show and Tell is going to be on its own channel because I feel like that's become its own show. So that long thing
was to announce.
Was to just accept. Was just to explain where it's at.
So I'm having the same predicament with mine. Like I have my personal Edmund Jiddu channel, which I do like, I don't know, things that I'm into, like house stuff, truck stuff, projects. And then I have OUTRUN Project, which is like my podcast project. Do I want to start its own channel and start from zero? Or do I want to integrate it into like my pre-built audience? But that audience isn't there for my podcast. So it's like, I do want to start its own thing, but I want to leverage the audience I built. So it's like, I almost want to post in both. Is that a thing? Like starting a channel, uniquely posting just podcasts, but also post them on the main channel, or is that like confusing?
I feel like it's confusing, and that's where I'm at for the next couple episodes, just because me and Tony are finishing up our season for Show and Tell.
Yeah.
Like we have like 3 more episodes. So I'm going to post the rest of those on the main channel. And then I'm starting from scratch. Just because for me, it makes the most sense in my brain. Like the Missin the Homie stuff with all my friends is really at this point is like the next evolution of the vlog. Like this is so much more fun and so this is like what I want to be making videos about now. So that's where I think like with yours, it should stay separate because the truck stuff, the house stuff, that's stuff that like you...
Sorry, could you...
Quiet, Alexa.
Siri is so loud all the time and I don't know why. I feel like it's only mine.
She's done that like twice now since you've been here.
Right? And I'm not even... I didn't even...
You nudged her. You want to nudge your watch maybe.
But so like that's what you, Edmund Jiddu, likes. That's like what you like to make videos about. Whereas OUTRUN is still you, but that's like a more focused effort.
Yeah.
That's at least how I'm looking at it. And I'm like, I've been doing a lot of YouTube studying.
Like homework on it?
Oh, yeah.
So my videos are mainly like searchable, like the ones on my main channel, the ones that do well are things that are searchable, like how to do A, B, and C, how to fix this and that. So those are the ones that do well on my channel. But the ones that are more like passion projects, or you notice this, like when you do like a vlog or something, that's not like a searchable item, like how to do this.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much traction unless you have like something, really interesting to freaking discuss, or you've got to like clickbait them or thumbnail them or do something.
Right, which is in my head, that's why I wanted to move Missin the Homies to the main channel, because at this point, like the people who follow Tone Time are the people who know me. That's like
built an audience.
Yeah, that's like that is the people who were in the vlogs are now the people who are in the podcast.
Right.
So it's like, to me, that makes the most sense to keep it there. But I'm trying to do like what you're doing with show and tell and make it like searchable. And do you do like the whole like tags and everything?
Yeah, you gotta use tags. Yeah.
I don't know how to do any of that.
Well, as you're uploading it asks you what, and there's no limit on tags, but you want to keep them like somewhat aligned with what the video is about. You don't want to completely fake it out, like put buzzwords in there because I feel like
The Last of Us.
Like Pedro Pascal. Like, he's not even in the video. Why are you putting them in there? Just because everybody's searching right now but I think YouTube is smarter than that. If like, I won't even say it on this, but the pandemic word that everybody was taking out of their videos, if you put the C word or
different
anything,
C word, not the C word you're thinking.
They would just like block it because they, I don't know. I tried doing that early on. I did like that. I did pandemic, just to get like searches, because then I literally did the opposite effect of what I wanted. It ended up being like shadowed. Or
you were clickbaiting.
Yeah, like in the tags
with the tags.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. That stuff has never been like very interesting to me, but now I want to
Mr. Beast proved that it's a thing. Like, you need to do the homework. Unfortunately, he took channels. He's been on a bunch of podcasts now. He's took channels that have 1,000 subs to like 100,000 within like 3-4 months, just using his techniques.
Whoa.
But I don't want to say it's easy when you're just like gimmicky, like giving things away, or like where I'm really glad that YouTube got away from is these challenge videos, like 24 hours handcuffed my best friend. Let's do like
so stupid.
Just locked in my room for 2 days or whatever. Like
those are funny for like 2 minutes, and then it's like, okay, that's.
Yeah, do you know that? Like, did you notice that phase is like luckily like moved on?
I'm doing oh my gosh, an after school theater program with middle schoolers.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. We're like building sets, or what are you doing? Like,
so we're doing a show. It's about like the people's relationship to food and like the cultural, like how people culturally identify with their food and like good memories with food. But like, we were talking to the kids one day, and something about cinnamon came up, and I'm like, oh yeah, like the cinnamon challenge, and the kids were like, what's the cinnamon challenge? And I was like,
yeah.
That's so crazy, because that's like what I remember YouTube for at one point, like the ALS ice bucket challenge. All of those challenge videos are crazy to go back and look at.
It is funny now, because those were like the original like viral challenge videos. Ice bucket challenge. What were those shared on? Were they shared on Facebook? I think they were like Facebook shares.
I remember doing the ice bucket challenge on Instagram. It's still mine is still there. I'm like,
I never did the ice bucket challenge.
So dumb. It's so it was so. I love that, like, and I don't know if that like was a real thing, or like if the money actually went to that, because
the funny thing about the challenge is you did it so you didn't have to pay. That was like the whole thing.
Is that what it was?
The whole thing was like, do that and you don't have to donate. So the people doing the ice bucket challenge literally were like, I don't want to pay, so here's the ice bucket. But it was like bringing attention and awareness to the cause, so they were like, it's fine.
But see, like, I don't even know what ALS stands for at this point.
Yeah, you know, it's fine.
I
know it's a muscle atrophy disease.
But like, it's crazy that those challenges were a thing.
ALS, what is? I feel like I know what ALS is, but anyways, you know what it is. You just don't know how to describe it.
I don't even know.
It's just like losing voluntary muscle control or involuntary muscle control.
I thought that was MS.
I think ALS is a variant of MS.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it's like debilitating. But I feel like it runs in men more than it does. Like, MS is a female thing, and ALS is a. Oh, hold on, we got Jamie. Let's put him on the pod.
Oh, what up, Jamie?
Jamie, what's up, buddy?
Pretty good. What's up, man?
Hey, you're on the pod with Antonio. You just cut in.
Hell yeah, man. How you doing, Antonio?
Good. How are you, Jamie?
Always good, man. You know me, fucking snapping necks and cashing checks.
Ain't shit changed.
Let me call you back in a bit. What are you doing?
Stopping to have a little spritzer before I head over.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, man. Bye.
All right, bye. All right. ALS Ice Bucket Challenge aside.
Yeah. Challenge videos aside. But yeah, so that's like what I want to like try and do. Like I want to try the whole social media game. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to use show and tell as my test.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'm pumped, and I'm definitely gonna like this month. I'm definitely gonna pick your brain about, and I mean,
back and forth.
This goes back and forth.
Yeah.
But like your whole, you want to take the thumbnail. I fucking love that because I know my thumbnails are garbage.
You do have lazy ass thumbnails. Once in a while, you'll put text on there, but it's about it.
There was one day I like felt really, really good about a thumbnail because I spent like 15 minutes on it. I was like,
this one's gonna do well.
I put a background. I put text on top and bottom. I was like, this one's gonna kill it. But I know they're so lazy. But
so what I'm finding is like, everybody's doing what we're doing or trying to do this podcast thing. Not even saying we're doing it, we're attempting it.
Hey, speak for yourself. I got 300 episodes on show and tell. I got over 300.
That's really impressive.
Show and tell, new episodes every Monday.
You are consistent. I'll give you that.
Which is so crazy to me because another whole part of it was I made a promise to myself. I made a promise to myself at the very beginning with me and Demi. I was like, I'm gonna do this for 1 month. I've never stuck to anything. Mm-hmm. I was like, if I can do this for 1 month, that's a dub for me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the month, I was like, well, 1 month is easy. I could do one more month.
Yeah.
And then we did it again, and I was like, okay, but 2 months was kind of easy. Let me just. So I literally have been living my life 1 month at a time, and at the end, I'm like
Diesel. You like one vlog at a time.
I'm like
podcast at a time.
All right, do I? Is this the month that it's over? I'm like, no, I'm having way too much fun.
Yeah.
So it's
the marathon analogy, and me like physically running these marathons. Like I do say, it's literally chipping away at the thing daily. Like whether it's house projects or whatever. Like chip away at the thing. Don't think of it like as the ultimate like finish line goal, because that's like overwhelming and like too hard to wrap your head around like what you actually want to finish. But every day, like, all right, I need to do this. Upload the one video. Do the one thumbnail.
And that's honestly at the beginning. That's where I was like, I literally can't even wrap my head around like proper thumbnails or like working on a description. I was like, as long as I post this video by 11:59 on Monday, that's a dub.
Right.
And now I feel like, I've done enough. I've gotten enough good enoughs. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, okay, now let's make it good. Not good enough. Right. Now it's going to be good.
Dude, how did Casey do it for 300 storyline?
Dude, he music, almost lost his fucking wife and children.
I thought he was coming back full time when he like posted that he was in New York, which was sweet for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I didn't expect him to come back daily, but
it's tough. And I've tried daily 2 or 3 times where I was like daily vlogging, and it's really I get his excitement about it because it's really, really fun.
Well, it's fun. It's for like when everybody knows who you are.
For like
when you're
no, not even that. Like I had a lot of fun doing it for like 3-4 days, and then after that 4th day, you're like, "This is
burnout.
I'm fucking done."
In 4 days,
like literally 4 days, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know another idea I could do, and then I'm like, well, if I don't have an idea, then how am I gonna know what to shoot? And like once you're already like tripped up on one thing, it's a domino. Like,
well, he says it. He says that at his level, he saw every day as like, what can I pull for content rather than what am I doing today?
Yeah, and that's also like that's also like kind of a shitty way to live. And why he eventually stopped. I'm like, that's.
Or like before you do something like, let me pull this camera out. Okay, what were you gonna say? Like, this
and I've done that. I have like.
I remember when you were like, your right hand was a camera.
Yeah, and. There's some days I do miss it. Like I miss having a camera in my backpack. But then, like
you don't walk around.
I saw something. I saw some video where it was like,
"Ooh, you get is it the 14?
No, this is a 12. But I just got a nice peak design case.
Low key flexing.
Look at
is that a 14? Oh, I see your camera bumps are a little shallower than they should be.
Oh, is that a 14 Max Plus? No, but I did look. Actually, you'll appreciate this. Okay,
is that your wallet?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a peak design Peak Design case. And so, see the little notch in the middle?
Yeah, is it MagSafe or something?
So the phone is MagSafe, but the notch in the middle, this is Peak Design's what's the word for it? Like modular case.
Okay.
So like you can get a bunch of different mounts for that has this.
Yeah, so that's their proprietary.
Yeah. So like I've seen like a motorcycle mount where they like click it in, but this is their little MagSafe wallet. But the reason I like it and the reason I got it, first off, MagSafe, like it, but it's got a built-in stand, and the magnets are.
How easy does this wallet fall off? Oh,
does it?
Actually,
yeah, it's tough,
dude. That's impressive. So this is not using its like connector though. It's just.
I think it's using the connector that's in there, but like
more. Right now, if I like it, if it still charges.
I don't charge it over.
Yeah, it's charging. So it still takes charge with that case. So that's what I do. Like I like having my.
Your card just right out.
Well, I don't like that it's transparent. That case is kind of annoying, but I do like just having my phone and my cards.
See, I was super against it for the longest time because I was like, well, I had somebody just say to me what I used to say about this setup the other day. It's like, well, what if you lose your phone? Then you lost your wallet too. I'm like, there's not a second in the day where I don't know where my phone is at.
Yeah.
Like,
I think once in the last month I've misplaced it.
As bad as it is, this thing is glued to me.
That's everybody. It's not just it's everybody.
Yeah.
It's everybody.
But so I'm like, I'm not gonna lose this. Like out of everything in my life, this will not get lost. But so I found
that is cool. That is sweet.
And so
that's pretty dope. What do they call it?
Peak Design.
Peak Design.
So I think it was a Casey Neistat video. Actually, I think it was a Casey Neistat video where he's like, he showed off his wall of like shitty busted cameras, and he's like, I have shot like these are all the cameras I've shot with. He's like, yeah, I have the Canon R5 mirrorless, and it's sick, and I love it. This is what I use every day. He's like, but I've used all of these, and it like really clicked one day. I was like, it really doesn't matter if it's this camera, if it's my big camera, if it's a phone, if it's my little Osmo that I used to carry around. If it's interesting, people will watch it. If it's not interesting, it could be the best fucking camera or it could be a piece of garbage. Nobody's going to watch it. And so once that hit me, like, yes, a certain level of quality I feel like is expected at this point.
Yeah.
But like your phone, my phone, your phone is an amazing quality compared to like a shitty like
early Best Buy cameras I used to buy back in the day.
Yeah, so I'm like, why wouldn't I use my phone if it's a good enough quality? Because I use this for the podcast, for the vlog, all the time.
Even the little forward facing camera on this thing is like great.
Yeah. But so like the whole reason why I got this case is because I used to actually I carry it with me. Oh wait. This is I just have to nerd out about this because I know you'll appreciate it. Okay, so this is what I used to carry.
Oh, dad wallet?
Well,
that's not even a dad wallet.
No, I used to carry a regular wallet, but this is what I used to carry.
Oh, I remember this thing.
So the pocket tripod.
Oh, I do remember this.
Thin as a credit card, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
This thing I have used the shit out of it, and it's busted, but I love it. This thing is so...
It's a bottle opener too, obviously, and everything else.
No. It's just a stand, but it like you could take it apart.
Oh, that's cool.
But for shooting on my phone, like you don't need to carry a huge tripod. You could prop your phone up for however, but like for the shots that I would want to get, this came in super handy. So I just wanted to
got a wallet with that built in.
Yeah, and so get a shot here.
That's pretty dope.
Here, like.
So now you can be a gym influencer and just prop it up everywhere and just record.
If I wanted to.
To that sentiment of like record on anything, I think like you said, there has to be a certain quality that people are expecting now. Like you can't have a blurry video or something kind of lousy. It's got to be super crisp, which that phone is very capable.
iPhone 12, even
I'd say everything after like an 8 was pretty capable.
That's what it's nuts. So I there are some points where I do miss having my camera on me, but I always have this on me.
Yeah, and that's allowed everywhere. Where your camera's people are looking at you, you feel funny. It's got a giant microphone on it.
I've gotten kicked out of places because I have a camera.
Right.
I've gotten yelled at a certain place.
Nashville, when you were recording Luke's thing, were you kicked out of a place?
Bro, they gave me so much shit, and I had the absolute worst time in Nashville. Have I ever told you this story? I'll tell you this off the pod, but yeah, because how long have we been recording?
I don't know. I'm not tracking it. It could be. Go ahead. So what about Nashville?
So I had the
40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Yeah.
You want to wrap it?
No, we can. You want to save the story for another one?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, let's wrap it there. I think we're touching almost an hour.
All right. We'll be back in the next episode of Missin' the Home. Actually, I don't even think I do a sign off.
You don't do an outro.
No.
But the next one will be back in Zoom land.
Yeah, and we're talking, and you're going to edit this?
I'll edit this one.
All right. And we'll talk marathon because I want to know about
we
the
didn't
marathon.
even get into that yet. Shit. Okay. All right. Well, next one. All right, brother.
Peace.